Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from a cold dead.
Alright guys, so here it is. This is the full review of the Kershaw Thermite. It is model 3880. Kershaw Thermite. Now let's just get into a little bit of back end on this. This is designed by Rick Hinderer, collaboration with Kershaw. It's based off the XM18. It's absolutely just a stunning knife for $35. Probably one of the best knives Kershaw never made. So, wasn't designed by them, wasn't made by them. It's the best knife they didn't make. I mean, it's designed by an amazing knife maker, and it's made in China. So Kershaw really did nothing. They just put their name on it and put it in a box. I mean, I've got no love lost for Kershaw, guys. You know that. I personally can't stand the company and the 90% of garbage that they sell that some people on YouTube preach as like the be-all end-all of knives. I think most of their stuff is absolute junk. And this is not one of them, though. I am very, very impressed with this knife. Of course, Kershaw took the cheap way out with these screws. They're made from the same shitty, cheap material that the rest of their stuff was made from, screw-wise, because I stripped one out trying to move the pocket clip. Thankfully, I happen to have some nicer screws that I was able to replace it with that I purchased just for some other reasons, to replace some other issues I've had with Kershaw knives. So that's my real negative on the knife, is the screws are really cheap, and you probably will strip one of the two, if not both, pocket clip screws if you decide to move it. It does come tip down carry when you pull it out of the box. I like tip up, so I had to switch it. That is just my preference. So let's get into the specifics of this bad boy. Overall, we've got 8.4 inches with a 3.5 inch blade and a 4.9 inch handle grip area. So it's really, really nice. Weight comes in at 4.9 ounces. My scale was a little bit less, it was like 4.85, but close enough. They rounded up, so not a problem. But it's definitely got a little bit of weight to it for those of you who are giant wussies and, oh my god, I can't carry anything that's not 2.5 ounces. It's over 4 ounces. Suck it up, you giant vaginas. This is a freaking awesome knife. It's large, it's heavy, it's got some weight to it, it's got some thickness to it. The blade thickness is 0.11 inches thick. So it's just over 1/10 of an inch thick at its widest point right here. It's just a really, really great design. The blade is made of 8CR13 MOV. You can actually see it right here. You can't, but I can. It is made in China. The blade shape is the Rick Hinderer Spanto blade. So it's a combination spear point tanto. And as you can see the glimmer right here, where it's not quite the same grind. So it's a spear point, but then it has this nice tanto edge right here. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So you get that nice fine cutting ability all the way through, but then you have that push cut that you can get from a tanto and that spear point edge that a tanto gives you in a thrust cut. So it's really nice. I'm really a big fan of it. It is a hollow grind with a really beautiful stone wash finish all the way through, even on the backspacer, the steel backspacer here. It's just it's a beautifully designed knife, guys. So let's talk about speed and of deployment here. It's a spring assisted. It's not just a flipper. It's actually a spring assisted flipper. So you can either use the flipper or the thumb stud. These are not blade stops. They're actual thumb studs. You can see they're not stopping the blade. So you have option of deploying either way. I've become a fan of flipper knives as of late, so this is kind of my go-to now. And the really nice thing about the flipper is it gives you a really nice finger stop when you go ahead and get your grip in there. Your fingers definitely are not going to slide forward. That's a really good stopping point. And it's got a really good speed of deployment. I mean, it comes out nice and fast. It is a frame lock, as you can see. We have a nice early, probably 30-40% lockup right there. really nice. It's got the over travel button, so that's kind of a nice feature. Also, it looks really nice because it's a not stone washed. It's got a nice bright color, finish on that, so it really kind of contrasts off the back here. So really just a great design. You can feel that that spring loading when you're closing it. You hit right here and you really gotta push to close the knife. But it locks up really beautifully. The handle is a combination of obviously the frame lock with a G10 scale, and you can see they did a little pattern work on the G10 scale. It's got the cut back here where traditional XM18s and even the ZT Hinderer, the 0560, has the elongated lanyard hole back here. The backspacer is absolutely awesome. Definitely a Rick Hinderer backspacer design, and it flows through. As you can see, the jimping here, it's not very sharp. It's not sharp at all, but it's got that same pattern as the backspacer, which is really just a nice little feature to set off the overall look of it. Ergonomically, it fits in my hand perfectly, and like I said, I have bigger hands, guys, and it just fits my hand beautifully. The way your finger sits on the flipper here, and the way your thumb falls right onto the faux jimping right there, it sits in your hand absolutely perfectly. It feels great in your hand. It's got a really nice sharp blade out of the box, which is really nice. You can actually shave with it right out of the box. At least this one I could, so I was really happy with that. The pocket clip, it's a very small pocket clip. As you can see, it's got a real big dip in it here, so it's definitely very stiff when you get it out of the box. But it's a small pocket clip. It does offer a very nice deep carry option. You don't see a lot of the knife when it's in your pocket, especially either way. And like I said, it is tip up, tip down, left and right handed. You have holes on all four sides for those screws, if you don't strip them when you take them out. And you see you've got a screw design, so you can completely take the knife apart, which is nice. It's not pinned or anything like that. A lot of times on these lower end knives, you'll see a pinning as opposed to screws, but I do like the fact that it is screws, so I can take it apart. As for durability, I've only had it for a few days, guys, but I have been using it. It has been cut a few boxes at work. It's been used for a little bit of food prep, lunch, cutting up some salad and cutting up some radishes and stuff for my lunches. And all in all, it's done really well. It's cut a few sandwiches. I was cutting a steak with it last night just to try to put it through some paces. Haven't really hit it with any cardboard too much, other than just opening some boxes at work for some new hard drives that we got in. But all in all, it definitely works really well. It slices right through paper like butter. Actually, I probably got a sheet of paper over here. And let's see. I mean, it is, let's see here. You get really fine, nice thin cuts. I mean, that's very sharp out of the box. I haven't had to touch that up at all, which is absolutely fantastic. As for the value, like I said, this is the $35 Hinderer. I mean, Mr. Knife Guy had a few of these. When he got them in, I bought two. My buddy bought one. I think he kept one for himself, and then I think the other one he had was gone like later that afternoon when he had them in. I mean, they're out of stock everywhere, but if you can get one of these guys, absolutely worth adding to the collection. It's a great knife, a definite everyday carry for me. This will definitely be added into my rotation for EDC. Absolutely fantastic. I actually like this one better than the Zero Tolerance 0560. It's lighter, it's thinner, it just feels great in your hand. It's got a great blade, and the 8CR13 MOV, it's not a super hard steel. It's a very easy steel to sharpen, so for those of you like me who are not the best knife sharpeners out there, you can definitely get a really great edge back on it very quickly. I don't use anything more than the Spyderco Sharp Maker. I just learned how to do angles on different other knives other than the 30-degree angle. I just learned where to hold my hand to do a 21-degree angle on there. But it's just a great knife. It's got a great wow factor to it. I'm really impressed with it. I absolutely love it. It's just a really fun knife So give me a sec, I will show you a couple comparisons and we'll go from there. All right guys, so let's do a little we'll do size comparison first. So this is your Thermite. This is your ZT-0560. And this is your Hinderer, your Tenacious, your Ontario Rat 1, and your Gerber Hinderer CLS. I just had to throw that one in there because it's another good Hinderer. So here's some really comparable knives. I mean, if you're talking the Hinderers that are on the market, you've got 3 that I really know of that I recommend. Now there's 2 variants of that, the 0560, 0561, and then there's the something or other. It's a smaller, a little stubbier version, but I held one. I didn't really like it much. So I think these are your 3 real Hinderers on the market for everybody. This one is anywhere from about 260 to 280 on the market. This one is anywhere from about 60 to 70. This is more of a rescue tool though, so you've got some other features on this one that I can never get this thing open. It's definitely stiff. It's got some serious detents on the rescue cutter here, and of course you've got your glass breaker and lanyard hole there. I mean, this is a really nice knife. There is a review of it. Feel free to click, I don't know, somewhere on the screen. There'll be a link to it. So there's your Gerber Hinderer CLS, a really nice rescue type knife. This actually is in one of my emergency medical bags. You can see it's got the Spanto tip as well. This is a half serrated Spanto version. And then you've got, of course, your ZT-0560, which was really everybody's big rave. Oh, it's the affordable Hinderer. Well, yeah, it's affordable for some people. Of course, you can see the similarities in the design. You can see the shape of the clip. You can see it's both got the over travel stop. They're both frame locks. They're both flipper thumb stud opening available. As you can see, this one is definitely much thinner this way, and not all that much shorter lengthwise. You've got comparable, not very good open left-handed, very comparable blade shapes. This one obviously is a wider blade than this one, but very comparable blade shape. This one is just a spear point, it's the traditional spear point blade, where this is the Spanto blade. You can see the slight difference at the tip there. Both have the swedge on top, so you can see the similarities and the differences. So, like I said, guys, I am a very big fan of the 0560. It's a great knife. It's a big knife and it's a heavy knife. I haven't done a review of it. There will be one coming. I just haven't gotten to it. So let's talk a price point comparison. So we know this is a $35 option. This is your Endura 4. Again, this is 80 to 90, so you're going to get double the price for this one. There'll be a link to a review somewhere. So I've done a review on this one. Or you could go with the Cara 2. That's another option that's in this price point. It looks just like this, but it's half the price of this one, so it's about 30 some odd dollars. Very comparable to that price point. Then you could go to the Spyderco Tenacious. There'll be a link somewhere to that review. Again, very similar in price point. This one's actually a little bit more expensive, but you can see for similar price, you're going to get a bigger knife, a bigger handle. It's a little bit heavier than the Tenacious is. Fits in my hand a little bit better, but again, the Spyderco Tenacious really is a reference knife for a lot of people. I know a lot of people who don't want to spend a lot of money, especially a lot of my friends who are not knife junkies like I am. The Spyderco Tenacious has been a real go-to knife for a lot of them. Another comparable knife would be your Ontario Rat 1. As you've seen in previous videos, this is my favorite rat one. I have several of these in a couple of different color variations, but this is pretty much my go-to work knife, my beater knife. This is the knife that really gets the most abuse. This blade at one point was black. You can see there are some remnants of that black coating on there, but it has, this knife's done everything. I mean, I've wedged wood apart, I've hammered it into 2 pieces of wood and cracked them apart to separate the nails. This thing has been abused. But this is a $30 knife. This is a $35 knife, and you can see they're very similar in size and shape, about a 3.5 inch blade on each one. Handles are similar in comparison. This is an assist. This is actually just a flipper knife, and it comes out like a rocket, and it has a really great, it's very late lockup now because I've used it so much, but I mean, this is a very comparable $30 offering that if you can't find one of these, this is a great option as well. I give these as gifts to a lot of people. So there you go. There are some options for you. The Ontario, there's your Kershaw, there's your Endura, there's your 0560, there's your Tenacious, and there's your Gerber Rescue Blade, CLS Rescue Blade. So, as always, Semper Fi, have a great day. $35 Hinderer, bitches.
So you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it one shot at a time.
Probably will strip one of the 2, if not both, pocket clip screws if you decide to move it. It does come tip down carry. When you pull it out of the box, I like tip up, so I had to switch it. That is just my preference. So let's get into the specifics of this bad boy. Overall, we've got 8.4 inches with a 3.5 inch blade and a 4.9 inch handle grip area. So it's really, really nice. Weight comes in at 4.9 ounces. My scale was a little bit less, it was like 4.85, but close enough. They rounded up, so not a problem. But it's definitely got a little bit of weight to it for those of you who are giant wussies and, oh my god, I can't carry anything that's not 2.5 ounces. Or it's over 4 ounces. Suck it up, you giant vaginas. This is a freaking awesome knife. It's large, it's heavy, it's got some weight to it, it's got some thickness to it. The blade thickness is 0.11 inches thick. So it's just over 1/10 of an inch thick at its widest point right here. It's just a really, really great design. The blade, just a stunning knife for $35. Probably one of the best knives Kershaw never made. So, wasn't designed by them, wasn't made by them. It's the best knife they didn't make. I mean, it's designed by an amazing knife maker, and it's made in China. So Kershaw really did nothing. They just put their name on it and put it in a box. I mean, I've got no love lost for Kershaw, guys. You know that. I personally can't stand the company and the 90% of garbage that they sell that some people on YouTube preach as like the be-all, end-all of knives. I think most of their stuff.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from a cold dead.
Alright guys, so here it is. This is the full review of the Kershaw Thermite. It is model 3880 Kershaw Thermite. Now let's just get into a little bit of back end on this. This is designed by Rick Hinderer, collaboration with Kershaw. It's based off the XM18. It's absolute junk. And this is not one of them though. I am very, very impressed with this knife. Of course, Kershaw took the cheap way out with these screws. They're made from the same cheap material that the rest of their stuff was made from, screw-wise, because I stripped one out trying to move the pocket clip. Thankfully, I happen to have some nicer screws that I was able to replace it with that I purchased just for some other reasons, to replace some other issues I've had with Kershaw knives. So that's my real negative on the knife, is the screws are really cheap, and you